Yeah. Do I not have that outfit? Hold on.
Ah, I've almost smashed this entire freaking bag of flips.
No.
Flips! The like fudge covered pretzels?
Crunchy.
Really? Oh, that sounds good too. Here, these. I've sworn these are like sold in gas stations like everywhere. I put in the mod chat a picture of the bag.
There. My boy looks like me now.
Don't you ever look at me or my son ever again.
You'll see when you get here.
We've had fun. Okay, hold on.
Hold on.
Hubby, look at my screen. I'm the most beautiful.
Oh, you became a squeaky toy.
No, and then look at that.
My boy.
My boy. I was like, don't look at me or my son ever again.
What have I
Hi,
done to you?
Snoop! How are you doing? Oh my
You
goodness.
no longer sound like you're being sucked into the void.
Do you like me and
Yeah,
my
no
son?
more Vegas going, whoa.
Understandably so.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, Jay?
I'll tell the
Yeah.
guy if he's in the middle of
There you go.
that episode.
Okay. Well, don't talk to me or my daughter ever again. Do you like my
Can you change her? Because her lower half should be pink like yours.
Okay.
And you can make that a layered armor set for them as well.
Yeah,
Over-
it is. That's
You
a
have to
layered
do it
armor.
at the buddy one over here.
Layered armor settings. Pigment. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to make the head 1 for 310, 31, 100. Because it's a very light pink. And then this needs to be...
Ah, it affects the eye color of the headpiece.
Yes. Hold on,
That's fine.
I took a picture of the appropriate... That way it's always the same. 1, 55, 40, 75.
You have a color you like. You haven't told me that before.
E.
Ooh.
There.
There she is.
Don't talk to me or my daughter ever again. Be an animal with us. Do it. Do it.
I don't know if he has enough tickets to do it.
My head moves. I constantly nod. Sleepy McQuaggin. How about you? Well, we've had a day. Poor Vega. He's having all kinds of trouble. We think we're having car troubles. We think the shifter cable went out on it, which is not an expensive piece at all. Like a piece of like a part. If that is what's wrong. Yeah, but labor's gonna be a bitch, but Dash says he's gonna try to do it on his own. Believe in him. Don't know where that southern accent came from, but okay. Wee! Wee! We gotta get Vega to level 20 before we do Chameleos.
Chameleos. Well, that'll give us points.
Also, Sugar, I have something to ask you later. Okay.
I also have Sun 2.0.
Hello.
Pupper Sun.
Oh, Bubble.
Here's the quest.
A little Bubble.
Good luck out there.
But I'm gonna do Piggy.
Do it! Are they sugar free? Then you're good. Go for it. Have you heard of the freaking laxative effect sugar-free gummy bears have?
It's specific ones.
I want to take a chance. Yes. I was
Well,
on the keto diet. I know the effect of sugar alcohol.
Yeah. well,
but
one
I
of
didn't
them
realize it was
uses
so strong.
one of them uses basically a laxative. It's not even supposed to be a sweetener, but it tastes sweet, so they use it as an alternative.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You just poop yourself while eating gummy bears.
Happens to the best of us.
Hold on a sec.
You see it.
What is it? Oh, see, I don't see it. I don't have Y. Oh, there
Top
it is.
button for me.
Thank you. Love for long. PS4.
I'm using Switch.
I just feel very awkward now having my thing the way it is, giving what Mr. Fugan loves to shout when he comes into battle. And I'm like, this implies things that I didn't want to be implied. And again, like I said at the beginning of the thing, he's hot for an old dude. But I'm married.
That hasn't stopped you from anything before.
Where are you guys going?
I'm following you. I don't know.
Oh, okay, because I was about to say, I was like, I'm doing my bird kiss route.
No trouble at all.
Been watching Bleach. I could freaking do something.
Yoink.
Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. A good arc. Renji, he needs to really see a doctor about how much he bleeds. Lucky
You mean-
life.
I see it over there. Rigian is like a highly compressed blood.
No one has ever bled as much as Renji has.
He stubs his toe and like someone that's across the room gets hosed down with like 80 gallons of blood.
But there's something over here.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. We'll be back with you in a little bit. Yeah, that's a big one.
I don't
Keep
think
your
it's as
sloppy
big as the
tail.
one from last night, but yeah, it's a big one.
Found it.
Yeah. I love how... I don't know, I lost track of Sugar.
I'm over here. I'm up.
Uh-oh. Move your giant head, Almondron.
right here.
I
I'm not-
hate the fact they made it so that when you run away from a monster, you use more stamina.
Well, you're scared. There you
But
are.
it's like twice the rate that it goes down. It's nonsense. Delicious bird grass.
And this way. Recovers your birdies. This way.
I think we lost Vega.
Okay. Up.
Ooh, I'll take this. Yoink.
Bird kiss. Wire bug. Bird kiss. Little cave. Nope. I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be angry.
I just see you go, ah, and fall down.
That takes care of that.
Kinguranu.
And then across this way. See, you guys don't need me anymore.
I do like the first three things, and that's it.
Claw, I gained a new Twitter follower. I wonder who it is. Rogan following me on Twitter and stuff. Being a Rogan.
Revive my trusty weapon.
What have you used it on?
I don't know, but it looked like it was lowered a little.
Oh, on my RP account? I haven't been on there in like a year. I'm surprised that everybody didn't leave. Ah, my noodle! My noodle! My noodle!
Have some food.
Oh, your scream knocked me against the wall, you kinky boy.
Have food. Have food.
I take food. Oh, I didn't even attempt to dodge that. Oh, I'm here. But that's all I can be.
She's not good at answering questions at the moment, or
That are
thinking.
not yes or no.
Even those, because he asked technically a yes or no question.
Woot! I didn't know which was your main. That was my main account because it's my RP account, but for this, it would be the Buntuber, but I haven't been active on either, which I need to change. Why are you leaving? Are you
It's doing
leaving?
this attack. No,
Okay.
it's mud
Oh,
waving.
well, that. I will
Okay,
do what I
give
can.
me your tail. Give me your face. In that order. Let me hit your tail, darn you.
Why
I
are
don't
you
want-
so slippery? That's supposed to be the other noodle, not you.
It is mud. It's not soap, but it's still slippery. It's just also sticky. Give me that tail.
What ting ting? What dink dinka dinka dinka.
Which end is what? It keeps moving around in a circle, so I keep losing track of which end I'm hitting.
I got some part. I thought.
It's back.
I'm sorry, that's not what we wanted. Try again.
Well, that's a start.
Making myself some pasta, also still laggy. I'm sorry, Bigfoot. I
Yeah,
won't be
but
able to hear your
Bigfoot's a
response
cat.
yet.
yeah. Vega having major issues. You and Sugar with your issues.
Always.
I have them occasionally, but everyone has them occasionally. But you two, They're like attracted to you.
Where are you going? I thought you wanted to be our friend.
An excellent opportunity.
Well, I mean,
But
we were
that's-
kind of smacking it with weapons.
With like friends do. We're just trying to make them better. Yup. I'm just a duck.
It's a duck with a duck daughter.
Duck daughter, yep. It happens. What even is the right way?
The way we're supposed to go.
But if you end up there, it's still the right way.
Not if you end up in the wrong spot.
But that's what I mean, that's the right. But I mean, just because you took a different path to get to the same place doesn't mean it's wrong.
It kind of does.
I don't know.
What?
If you still end up where you're supposed to go, that doesn't matter how you got there. Still right.
It depends.
Because you're still the destination you were originally trying to get to. You know?
I disagree with that sentiment.
So the only way to do it right is if you get it done the quickest? Or the fastest? That doesn't seem very fair. Not all of us go at the same speed.
Trust me, I understand that. Me too.
And Vega's not wrong for being slow.
Is there anything nearby? Yeah, it's wall time. It's wall time, it's wall time.
All time.
You can't escape the walls.
I think you've had enough.
You're really good at this. Let's see how you handle this.
Ooh, flashy.
Sugar your health.
Oh,
Okay, it's better now. Your daughter helped you.
of course
Thank
she
you,
did.
Stevia.
She's such a sweet bean. Takes care of me so good.
Yeah, because remember, we don't have Dash.
I told you at the beginning that after Dash was gone, I would not be responsible for my health. Because I won't pay
That's gonna be very dangerous when we fight Chameleos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we need to fight Chameleos because I want to see what my level goes up to with all my
30.
sidey missions.
It'll go up to 30. Because then you'll unlock the next one.
So is it still ticking over even if I make it to 30?
Oh yeah. That's what I mean. I did it and I just did the bonus quest to get to where I am.
Oh.
I went straight from 20 to 46 by doing like 3 urgent quests in a row.
Come back, Noodle. Oh, my
You know-
health low again.
Now's my chance.
Meanwhile, those things were trying to attack us the whole time and just kept getting knocked around.
Ah, yes, and there's my Tipsy Tiny account, my art account, Rogan. Something else I need to update with more of my art because I'm behind on posting things there.
We just healed Sugar.
I don't know. I did it. It's like press O, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, dear.
The green mist of health, and you guys are like, we didn't need it. I'm like,
We
oh.
just got out of the healing tree
That's right, we did. That's a long second ago.
a long second ago.
Oh yeah, things just go so slow. I took the one that I'm pretty sure they got the amount of in the gummy wrong. I'm pretty sure these are the medical grade. The ones you're not supposed to get without a medical license.
Oh, this isn't where we need to be. Up I go then.
We'll go up. So I don't know which is your main. Yeah. Discord.
Discord. Where is it? Where is this hole?
Come on, Blizzard.
We'll just go this way, I guess.
I was gonna say, I'm just following you. It was not evident by me following you.
Yeah.
I'm a duck, I'm in my natural habitat. Quack.
Here we are.
Hangy mud.
Angie Mud.
That looks like Jafar if he was a mud noodle.
Oh my goodness, it does look like Jafar. Here you go, Jafar Noodle. Have a bomb. What the?
I broke him.
The Blastoise, I think, broke him, but he got broke pretty hard from that.
Oh, I go
Here.
fly.
Here, be paralyzed more.
I can help with that. I'm back.
It's
no!
running.
You just got back here. No, put those away. Quit being angry for a second. Pick that up.
You had that issue last year, I believe.
That scares me, Vega. Because I don't want you to get shot.
They can shoot up. Guns work that way.
Why are you in the thin place? It is about that time. Who is messaging me now? It's Charles.
Oof. Oh yeah, you didn't hear about this, Vega, but we don't get any more increases to defense. Which means that fight against Valstrax is as hard as it's going to be.
We need Dash's healing horn.
Not for the high level armor like what we have now. But on the plus side, regular Valstrax will be easier because Valstrax and most of the Elder Dragons, their event fights are harder than their regular fights. So it should be maybe manageable.
I'm back? Question
regular
mark?
Valstrax.
Well, it's good to see you, Bigfoot.
Broke his face.
Yeah, we
Yep,
got
the
the
tail's
tail.
in here. I'm still hitting his face anyway in case it breaks again. And it's a weak spot, so that's bonus. We took his whiskers off. Oh no, there's pieces of a whisker.
It's coming for you.
Oh, that sounds good. Spaghetti with sloppy Joe and tomato sauce. And chicken dance time.
Arabian noodle. Like an Arabian noodle. Are we? Oh, okay.
Quag.
I'm in this. I'm in the pain mud. Oof. Yeah, I'm unconscious. I'm close to it. Wake up, me.
I'll be back.
It's better than a shake up. You wanted to.
Boo! Hi! I'm alright. I was wondering if I would sneak in under the chicken dance.
How are you doing?
Been better, but hello! That's not what I'm here for. That's not the line of questioning I'm here for. Hi!
I'm getting drug along by this freaking noodle.
Yeah, I saw that, and I've been interacting with Stream. It's great.
You have been. You've been a busy Rogan.
Hold on, I got more bits to throw. Hold on.
No, you don't need to do that.
I don't need to. No.
Why would you want to?
Because I like supporting my friends.
Oh.
What's this?
Well, I know what's gonna happen when I start getting my commission money.
That start begging for mercy.
To be
Payback.
fair, I never really saw much of your artwork until I saw your Twitter profile and one of the art pages in your Discord, and I was like, wow!
Yeah, I draw a lot.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great artwork. Although I don't understand the origin of the mermaid lady.
Hold on. I have to wait till Baby Shark's done to be able to concentrate on what you're asking me.
Vega, did you get the tail carve? Okay.
Okay, now what was that?
What's the origin of the mermaid lady?
Mermaid lady?
Here comes the pain.
Which picture?
I believe it. Hold on.
If it's on my Tipsy Tiny account, I have it posted there. It's so long.
It is actually it's in Sugar's Burrow under the
Oh.
fan art page.
Oh, that's yeah,
Because-
it's my OC Amari.
Oh, okay.
She's
Because I saw her as well on your what is it? Your page for your merchandise.
Yes, she's actually a My Hero Academia OC, but I was just doing an AU that was where she was a mermaid
Okay.
because I thought her rainbowy iridescent hair would look really pretty, also as scales.
Okay. I have no idea what y'all said over there. I'm sorry, Bigfoot. That's my fault.
No, you're perfectly fine.
Targeting you.
Oh yeah, I'm giving you money.
What? I wish you'd stop. It's not that I don't appreciate the help and you supporting me, because I do. It's just
Dude, I've been sending you money since before Christmas. I am fine.
I'm
you
just
know,
worried that you keep saying that you're in the red.
yeah, that's the part that
Oh,
bothers me.
yeah, that part. We're ignoring that part for now.
No, we are not ignoring that part.
We are ignoring that part for now. Yes.
But why? Why isn't this thing dead yet? I have like four
Well,
things going on at once. By
Turns
that I
out it
mean
takes a
two.
little more than that to kill Rogan.
No, we're just not trying to kill Rogan, we're trying to kill Mundoodle. There it goes.
Mine now. I'll help myself, thank
I made me some delicious pasta. Also, villain AU in the works. Yes, actually, I finished up. It's a very sloppy sketch, but I'll post that real quick. It was actually my villain Amari. It's not with her villain gear on because I wanted to just show off her skin first. Oh, it's sloppy. This is gonna be. This is gonna be absolute shit.
I mean, I've seen your artwork. It's very good.
The fan art.
That's like looking at the
Did
sun
you
going,
also-
sorry, it's so dim.
Didn't you also draw your model?
I did draw my model. Yes, I did. I also
And my model.
drew.
That's a testament to your artwork right there. Everybody can see it.
Vega, his ping model was drawn by me, as was Jay's.
Yep.
Back to the village.
Yeah, so on top of that, you're a commissioned artist. You're a good artist. If people are paying you for it, you by default are good.
Yay! But there, I posted it in the fan art section. It's the sloppy. It's colored too, but it's still. I call it sloppy because I use a pencil brush at first, because it makes me feel like I'm actually
That
still
is
drawing.
intense.
What would you like to do?
The tattoos on that are intense.
Yeah.
Did you hand draw that, or did you do like
I-
a Photoshop thing?
I hand drew one of each one of those and then saved it as a brush to my Clip Studio Paint.
Holy moly!
That way I don't have to draw it again.
Just tell me what you need.
That's ridiculous!
Now some of them are like compressions of me using other brushes that I've made to make other patterns to save later. But yeah.
That's ridiculous! Like, if you took just the tattoos alone, that would be amazing. I like the hair, though. The hair always looks so fluffy on your models, or on your artwork.
I love hair and eyes are my two favorite things to draw. Not boobs, despite me drawing characters with big mama milkers. That's not
I
the part.
I wasn't paying attention to that part. To be fair, the first thing I do look at, though, when I see a piece of artwork is usually the eyes. I appreciate a good set of eyes.
I love. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love drawing eyes and hair. They're my two favorites.
I've never been good at hair. Or hands. Jazz hands!
Ray, hello, how are you doing? Perfect time to come in before work.
Jazz
First
hands!
thing I hear is big mommy milkers.
I got it.
To be fair, we're not talking about Rogan, so just
No.
putting that on the field. Just By the way, where am I?
Where are you?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that, but
Hold
we
on.
were in the middle of things.
I think I'm behind your chair.
Let me try and find you in this kerfluffle. There. Okay, so you're supposed to be here.
I'm no longer the bunny, by the way.
That's fine. Let me
I finally had
yeah.
to change it because somebody was like, "Hey, you're still the rabbit," and I was
You're
screwing
so
up.
tiny.
I was screwing up their whole order with everything.
I
Let's see
like
here.
the bunny.
Piece of cake.
I
Yeah.
also enjoy the bunny as well.
Off screen.
Come again.
Rogan, where'd you go?
I don't know
Okay.
what are you doing? I'm just watching myself go flying all over the place. And for me, I just shot off to the left.
Yeah.
There we go. There you're more sizable.
I'm getting a whiplash here. I am
Okay.
very big.
Well, I mean, I want you on par with me. Come on.
I
They're
don't
tiny
need-
little woodland
You are
creatures.
the main character. You
Yeah?
are the big one on screen.
I also
am
look at
tiny.
proportions. Fine. Fine.
I can be
Say-
made tiny and shoved off in a corner somewhere.
He's taking up so much of the screen.
I am! I'm taking up like a corner of your screen.
Fine, I'll make you tinier.
I
There.
am not the host here.
But I feel like you
Here.
should be. You're better than me.
I'm not better than you.
I
You
love
have-
you.
This,
Ah!
this would be like me coming to your house and saying I am the owner of this house. I am not. You are the homeowner here. This is your place of business. This is where you be you.
No.
I am me. I excel at being me at my place. You
I'm only
excel
here
at being
because
you in
of
your
my-
place.
I'm only here because of my community. Therefore, they're just as important as I am.
Yes. But you are also the one we all came to watch.
But why? You have so many other choices.
Exactly, and we still chose you.
So, wait.
where
So
did that
who are
lead
the
us?
people
Back
in
to
the
you.
background? Okay, Purple Fox. Here, let me clear my screen of all the emojis that are everywhere.
I
Hold
will
on.
fill it back up.
Just wait a second, okay?
I
so-
like how Rogan is in front of the flood wall and everything else is behind it.
Rogan's not special. Get back here, though. You should probably be behind the flood wall with everybody else.
I just realized it because I was like, everything's behind him and in front of everyone else. He's like, hey, everyone.
Oh. Oh, wait. I messed something up. No, stop.
I don't know if it's safe for you to be messing with settings without Dash here in your current situation.
Yeah, it's probably a not good idea, but we're here. There you go, now Rogan's back there. Hey, everything is amazing, Streamer Sugar. We love you no matter what you stream or do. Thank you, Bigfoot. Thank you, Syrup. You're lovely too.
There we go. Filled it nice and back up.
But I was trying to explain who everybody is. Stop it.
And now you'll have to do it while we sit behind a wall of emotes.
No. So the purple fox.
No.
That is Vegasoma. He is a streamer. Actually, everyone here is a streamer. Every single person that's currently on this screen is a streamer.
Yeah.
So this is Vegasoma. The white bunny, who I refer to as Jay, is my biological brother in real life. He is White Gaming Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gentleman who I was swinging around the screen, that would be Mr. Rogan Breaker,
Hello.
who is a
Mr.
talk
The
show
Breaker.
host.
You know, I say I'm a talk show host, I say I'm a radio host. I don't actually do anything radio announcer-y or talk
Your voice
show.
is enough.
I
Your voice
know,
really
everyone's
is.
like, hey, you gotta do like radio shows or podcasts. It's like, I could, I should, I don't.
You definitely should.
Hi, apparently.
Which is breaking apart more than 60s rock bands.
What are you asking for, though, Vega?
Oh, I thought you were asking what the endurance of something was. And I have not played Monster Hunter since I think Monster Hunter Rise came out, and my brother was like, hey, you need to buy this. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I thought it was the greatest thing since milk after I turned lactose intolerant. It was not the greatest thing for me. It was cool.
That's how I felt about World, the predecessor.
The radio show host guy has a nice voice. That is Mr. Rogan Breaker, and he does have a nice voice.
I'm steampunk.
Steampunk.
Indeed.
Which declines why actually Sugar is kind of the coloration she is now. That was the closest
Yeah.
thing to steampunk you had for
I
picking a
would-
color.
Yes. I had like mind of Link from Legend of Zelda, but this is close enough until I actually do a steampunk
I like that
one.
color green. That's actually a very cool color green.
Did
I
it?
thought so too. I'll make some accessories to attach to my model, like where my glasses are up top. I'll make like a little top
Link
hat. Yeah, or a bowler hat. That's
Oh,
cute.
bowler hats work. Yeah. You
With
could do
the
a top
goggles.
hat. You could do a bowler hat. You could just do no hat at all. A lot of I know that for Victorian women, they had tiny hats.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the tiny top hat.
Yeah, tiny top hats.
They're so cute. It's like, look how tiny.
Hold on.
You could also do too many tiny top hats.
Top hats wearing top hats.
Exactly. Just don't hot glue a gear on there and call it steampunk.
Having
You know, I-
mechanical things with gears in them, though.
Like,
So as long as the gears actually do something,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah, it's not just, oh look, there's a gear we threw onto something.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's not actually steampunk, you're just adding on to the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's
little bit.
clockwork.
I promise, it'll be great.
Wait, are you guys going to fight?
In Monster Hunter.
Oh, you shouldn't fight. You're
I'll get the chair.
friends.
I wish you luck.
No.
The last time I actually played anything like this was Dark Souls 3, and that was years ago. I'm not great at Souls games. I
Yeah.
am great at running away.
I
That-
well, I was just going to say that I'm not a big fan of the Souls games, but I did like Bloodborne, which is same vein, but it felt different.
A bowler hat? Bowler hats were like they're hard-sided hats that look like a bowl. They're like very domed.
Yeah, they're essentially like half an orb, but they've got a bit of a rim that kind of comes up a little bit. If you think Sherlock Holmes and Watson, it would be Watson's hat.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
Playtime's over.
What are we up against? Emilius?
Mustangs. No,
Oh, okay.
after this he should be though.
Okay.
I
Oh,
saw
that
a
was
Goss
pathetic. I forgot to do
Harag
that.
was one of them.
Why not just wear a bowl at that point then? Because bowler hats are cute and made of cloth, and bowls are made of bowl.
Yes, indeed. Bowls are made of bowl, yes.
Plus, it's an older style hat. It was one of those
Yep.
hats that was in vogue.
Did you know why the fedora and the trilby were created?
For racing?
No.
Hold on.
No. What? For racing.
Like,
For hats!
I don't know why, but it just reminded me of this old photo of two guys, and like, there's like a black and white photo, and like,
I mean, they're hats from the 80s.
yeah.
Like the Cold War.
I first pictured a bunch of racers in old style vehicles wearing those hats, and then when you made that exclamation, Rogan, I just pictured a bunch of people racing down, like sledding on the hat.
So, do you know what a fedora is?
Yes.
Okay, so like trilby is like a fedora, but with a wider brim and usually a little more flatter. It would be like if you watched like a classic like 80s drama with a detective in it. He's more than likely wearing a trilby over a fedora.
Yeah.
Fedoras are a more or less recent thing. Anyhow, the trilby was created as a attempt to help people in the event of a nuclear catastrophe, such as a nuclear strike during the 80s. It was the height of the Cold War. The idea was that if a nuclear strike was to occur off in the distance, you would have your trilby on, and you would tilt your head towards the blast, so the brim of the hat would cover your eyes to help shield your eyes, so you wouldn't get blinded by the blast.
How would you have time to?
You would literally just look down slightly. That is why every man back then wore trilbies in like the 60s to the 80s.
Huh. I just thought they were trying to look hot.
I would say that'd be so
Okay.
hilariously ineffective.
Here you go, brush off the trilby here. But what?
Oh.
No, I don't have a trilby. I do have fedoras, but not trilbies. What? No,
Trophies
wait.
and fedoras do look cool.
Oh yeah.
I do have a trilby. However, it is zebra print.
That's nothing wrong with that.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's,
It's
Oh, yeah.
still a cool looking hat.
I think. It's somewhere. It's behind the penguin. Somewhere.
behind the penguin. It's behind the
It-
penguin. Don't
it's,
worry
it's
about
behind, It's behind the penguin. Don't worry about it. It's behind Gibbs. I call him Gibbs.
That's our target, huh?
it. I love that.
Gibbs is an interesting name. I watched too much NCIS. I watched... Oh yeah, it was great show for a long time.
Where are you guys? Oh,
They're both in this area.
I was going around getting bird kisses.
Oh. Yeah, I came down here because the two things we're after are in the same area, so I'm like, I'm gonna make them beat each other up.
That's fair.
Bonus damage.
That's the same. Because I turned around to be like, hey guys, are you following me? And then you were just gone. I'm like,
I was
Nope.
following you for a bit, then I lost you.
now where are you guys? Oh, that way.
You want to know a crazy weather phenomenon fact?
Yes.
So in Australia, they don't just get sandstorms, they get firestorms.
Oh yeah, the fire tornadoes and stuff.
Not just tornadoes, it's like a sandstorm, but fire.
That is horrifying.
Fedoras were
Yes.
created to only exist to be worn by 40s detectives.
Roughly. So, when you actually have a bunch of powder or
That's
just
spicier.
stuff in the air, generally that's creating such a drying environment where a lot of friction can occur, you can create something, I forget what it's called. It's like I think it's like a powder fire or like a dry fire or something, but the idea is that, yeah, you're actually drying out the atmosphere so much that a simple spark, like an electrostatic discharge or just a lightning strike even, could spark a fire in the air. Usually it also causes an explosion, but if it's like a small little localized area, but a big enough area, it just causes like a rolling fire.
Mhm.
A big one.
Terrifying.
Oh yes,
Like,
they create
cool.
bunkers for these.
I don't want to live somewhere where, you know, the trees try and kill me and you have to have a bunker for a firestorm.
Yeah, they have these things all
Hey!
over the place.
It's the Beetlejuice.
Basil juice. Basie.
Are these giant creatures fighting each other,
Yeah.
and you're trying to
Whoa.
kill them too? Do they ever
Yeah.
just stop fighting each other and team up on you guys?
Yes and no, depending. Yes.
They do that. It's fine.
When I played this game, I believe I had a giant musket or something for a weapon. That may have been World. That might be it.
And boom.
I am an accuracy over damage kind of person.
See, I am DPS all the way, which is why I'm Twin Blade. I zip zoom.
When I did play Dark Souls, I had the scythe, because scythes are the coolest weapon.
I agree
Scythes
with
are
you.
awesome. Yeah, that is Sugar's favorite weapon.
Yeah, that is the coolest weapon.
You're done for!
See, that was before they created the DLC area, and Rogan just needed a weapon, and I liked Scythe a lot more than I should have, even against the advice of all my friends who were yelling at me to drop it, throw it in a fire, and forget about it.
My soda has a slice as her main weapon. Ooh.
Oh,
Apparently, a nuclear blast smells like metallic ozone.
yeah, because you're ionizing the air.
Yeah.
Are you just agreeing with everything I'm saying, or do you actually know?
I know some of this. I had forgotten a lot of this stuff.
I'm curious, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I love science, so
Oh,
I
so do I. Originally, I was actually supposed to be a steampunk scientist over a radio announcer.
could see that. You could be a scientist radio announcer.
Yeah, I dropped that. That was a little too much.
Aw.
I wanted
Science!
the general rule of thumb when creating anything: keep it simple, stupid.
The
I had to
kiss
repeat
method.
that to myself a bunch.
And here I am, the Toonware Bunny.
I mean, that's simple enough. No. I mean, it's complicated.
It's like the
I don't
Nicola.
want to call you simple because you're not simple. But
I'm
like,
simple. It's fine.
it's a good idea. It's strategically there.
Well, it's
you-
just the thing is,
you
I was
flush
inspired
the
by
idea. Ouch.
my favorite childhood book was Bunnicula, which was a
Oh,
vampiric
yeah.
bunny.
I remember that. I remember reading that book when I was in elementary school.
Yep, 4th grade was when we read it, and I
Oh.
absolutely loved it. And so I was
Oh my
like, but
God.
I like
Oh,
werewolves.
Nicola.
I like werewolves better than I like vampires. So I was like, nothing wrong with vampires. I just like werewolves better. They're spooky. I mean, one of my favorite book series of all times is about vampires. So the thing is, I don't hate on vampires. No, Cirque du Freak.
one of the first. What was it? One of the first manga I ever got into that got me into manga. Period was based around a vampire.
Oh.
Yes. I will not be disclosing the name of this manga, but this was a manga. It's just embarrassing now. Now that I look back on it,
Why is it embarrassing?
because I realized what it was now.
Vampire Knight?
No.
What is it? I have to know.
Maybe later.
Oh, well, I might not remember later.
Rosario? No! Rosario X Vampire either didn't exist or it didn't exist in America yet. Keep in mind, this was when Rogan was in middle school. I didn't even know what manga were. I just thought it was a weird comic book. Because I had just read Bone, and I'm like, this shit's cool! So I was looking for more things!
Oh yeah, I love Bones.
More importantly, how do you know all this radio show host? I somehow keep forgetting the radio show host's name. Rogan.
I am Rogan Breaker, the steampunk streamer and self-humbling human host of The Radio Room. To be fair, that's not my entire intro, but that's the general gist of Rogan.
Thanks, buddy.
And yet, scientist radio show host was too long.
Well, try coming up with something that alliterates with scientist research.
That's true, but the thing is, it doesn't have to be necessarily part of your, announcement. It could just be part of the, character lore and stuff. Like, you can have a simple premises that has more nuances that isn't necessarily directly stated.
No, you're very correct. That was actually part of the nuance thing that I was going to do. So you know Beth, my slime, co-host, manager, mascot? Yeah. Originally, as a nuanced thing, throughout the course of Rogan Breaker being Rogan Breaker, you were going to see something like a vial of an orange gel kind of in the background. And over the course of months or possibly years, you would see this little vial kind of move all over the place as I kind of changed it and changed the background a little bit. Inevitably, there would be an event where the vial breaks open and falls to the ground, and out pops Beth.
Oh.
Nope, so now she's just my boss. The story now, officially, that, nobody knows about anymore except for maybe Pagan, the story goes that I was needed a job after I got fired from my previous radio show, because TV was becoming a thing. Because TV, yeah, woo.
Even in steampunk, it changed things.
Yep, it changed things. They didn't need a radio announcer anymore, so I needed a new radio show to go to. I found a flyer advertising for a need for a radio announcer on this barren radio station on the edge of town. So I showed up one day, walked in the front door, and Beth thought I was an intruder and hit me over the head with a frying pan. And I realized later that I kind of stole that from Tangled.
I now have to draw you as Rapunzel.
Here comes the smolder.
Here comes the smolder.
Oh, dude, because of that and of that movie, I actually turned out I do have a smolder IRL.
Yeah, and Rogan as
I knew I
Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider. Here comes the smolder.
Here comes the smolder.
But yeah, almost every story you can find very close similarities with other stories if you look hard enough.
So Rogan, how do you know a bit about nukes and why?
don't give up yet.
Because.
Science.
Yes, science.
There's this awesome. Oh, I fainted. I wasn't paying attention to my health.
I am keeping this vague.
Terribly sorry about that. How are we still fighting this thing?
To be fair, in actuality, I have a friend who is extensively intrigued. He is. You think Rogan's smart? My friend I have, he doesn't do anything with streaming, but he's very smart, and he likes talking about nuclear power. And well, in his research of that, he does learn a bit about other things that he shares with me.
Yeah.
I've known this guy for like 10 odd years, probably longer than that. So we've had a lot of long, in-depth conversations about just a varying multitude of many things.
There's this awesome YouTube channel called Kurganizak.
Yes. I also used to subscribe to that.
Yeah,
I
we
also,
watched those.
also infographics. There's ASAP Science. There's other ones.
It's because of that now. Every time I see like something that's like, oh yeah, let's make this thing like that one game where you're like kids that get shrunk and you're in the backyard. I'm like,
Ground it.
square cube law. That won't work.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moment. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
God,
won't-
Rogan's dating himself here.
Oh, we know that too.
Oh yeah. We watched like all those.
I went to the amusement park ride in Florida.
Yeah, we did too. That was one of the times that we began to figure out that you had that like slight hemophobia or
Yeah, the hemophobia.
hemophobia.
You're afraid
Gosh,
of
you-
blood.
Specifically,
It makes her sick more than that she's afraid of it. So it's tangentially related to it.
it's the closest thing we can find.
Yeah.
Because
That's a degree of it. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a panic or a faint. It can be as long as you have some sort of volatile reaction to the
Yeah.
sight or what is it? Tactile sense of blood.
Yeah, because people
Hemophobia.
describing things
Yeah.
to me can make me queasy.
Yeah.
So
but
I shouldn't
see-
tell you how I broke my arms.
Probably not.
Probably not, no. But here's the thing, it's only other people's. It does not affect me, thank God, when I get injured.
Oh yeah,
Because
that would be
oth-
terrible.
Well, I'm accident prone. I get hurt all the damn time. So the thing is,
So
I
so
would
am I.
I would be in a constant state of agony if, you know, it affected me, like, for myself.
But yeah, hemophobia is also one of those things. You got to be careful saying it, enunciating it well, because it sounds like another more well-known phobia.
Which is bad.
Yes. And it's also different than being a hemophiliac.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is the opposite.
Oh, they like it a little
Uh,
too much.
I believe a hemophiliac is actually somebody who cannot coagulate blood.
Really? So it's not connected to hemophilia. It's something just
That's what.
oddly similar.
Oh no.
Good gracious.
Why?
Too many similar
Hemophilia
words.
Usually, yeah, is usually, I believe Latin for blood.
Because
Somewhere in there, anyway.
Well, philia is normally love of.
but the
Huh.
But
because
yeah,
that's
hemo is blood.
what Charles's dad, what he has, he can't clot.
Yeah.
Yep. You would be a
And-
hemophiliac then.
And then
Yeah.
my dad has the opposite. He clots too easy.
Yeah. Granted,
Oh, there's
his
no doubt
medication changed that. Remember?
Yeah, his medication made it to where his blood's super thin now. But when the entire time we were growing up, like he had to be on blood thinners
Ooh.
because he
Yeah.
clots in his veins.
Yeah, his blood was like crazy fast. Like he'd get a gash and it would just start clotting immediately.
Probably what saved him
was
from having a
insane.
tree fall on him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Along with
And
you,
so many
pretty
other
often.
injuries he's had.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably something I'm going to end up growing into myself, because when I get injured, I do stop bleeding pretty fast, except for, like, certain spots. But, yeah, I mean, head wounds are probably the worst for me, because head wounds on anyone, they bleed, but they
Bleed
don't...
a
they're not-
lot.
yeah, they're just...
Yeah.
Because
Ugh.
the skin is very taut over all of that, and it's very hard for it to heal. Along with
Yeah.
that, you've got so many veins in your head.
Oh yeah. Well, you
I
need a
had-
lot of blood going to the brain.
When I was little, I had a dollhouse fall on my head. Like,
Ooh.
just the corner of it pierced the back of my head. And, it bled so bad. By the time my parents got to stop bleeding, they found the cut was only, like,
Shallow
like,
cut.
like it's a tenth of an inch or something like that. Like, it was dinky.
Oh goodness. So if you actually look close enough on Rogan's model, you will notice that he is missing bits of his eyebrows. That is a reflection of the IRL Rogan Breaker, where I am missing large chunks of my eyebrows.
It's like Dan Avidan.
No idea who that is.
He's one of the
Game
Game Grumps.
Ah.
He's almost always depicted with a line missing from his eyebrow because of some injury he had as a kid or something.
Yeah, so I'm missing, I think it's like on my left one, my left, there is a big chunk missing, and then on my right side there's like 2 little lines missing. When I was an infant, I cracked my skull open twice. It was bad.
Well, come here. You gotta get to sleep. I love you.
Daw.
No, honey.
I'm gonna hide
Love
it on
you.
the wall. I forgot that I left water in the freezer, so I have to get that.
Yeah, go get that.
Is it in the bottle?
It's
A metal
it's in
bottle.
Yeah.
It can
a
still
thermos.
explode.
Yes, it can. Which is
You
why-
wanna know the funniest thing I ever, speaking of exploding beverages? I was staying over with
I
my
know what
cousin.
story it is.
My uncle, he was a little, I'm not gonna say that he was an alcoholic, but he liked his beer a lot. And he had put some beer in the freezer, so they'd get cold. Well, he forgot about them. But here's the thing, so me and my cousin were sitting in the living room, we're chatting, playing, stuff like that, because we were little. Suddenly, my uncle comes tearing through the living room to head into the kitchen. I mean, like, booking as fast as this man could. Because he realizes that he forgot his beer in the freezer. The moment he opened, it was like a pressure bomb. The moment he opened that freezer, they exploded right then and there. Frozen beer. First of all, the sound was like a fucking gunshot.
Yeah, aluminum exploding. Oh my
And then
god.
Just frozen slushy beer just goes everywhere. My aunt is down in the basement doing.
Thought somebody died.
Well, the thing is, she knew her husband. Mind you, my uncle. This is my dad's brother. They're
I
all
can just-
mischief makers. Have bad luck like this, and they
I can
happen
just
to all.
imagine that. Just everyone's around the house and you just hear a kaboom and a god damn it.
Oh no, I got ate again. Yeah. I don't know, honey. Just go to bed, son. You don't need to look for the cats. They're around. I promise. No one's off the house.
Oh yeah, cats will find you.
Yeah. But, downstairs in the basement, my aunt just shouts his first name, which, mind you, she never did. It's like a kid having said, like, their first and middle name said. She always called him by his middle name normally, because it was cuter. Yeah.
I'll take this. Thank you.
Okay.
He just shouts. She was a very passive woman. Never raised her voice. The moment after she heard that, because she's probably dealt with this before. He looks at us for us to go help him clean up the mess, well, because she's down doing, laundry. We're like, no, we ain't helping you.
Oh goodness, I once ruined the inside of a freezer because I used to live somewhere where I got something called a key lime soda, but it only ever came in a glass bottle, usually groups of 4. I really, really wanted them, but they're only good cold, and I wanted it really, really fast. So, my brain at the time, this was a much younger Rogan of probably about 5 years ago. No, further back than that. But I stuck it in the freezer. Not only did I stick it in the freezer, I stuck it in the ice tray, the thing that generates ice in the freezer, because we had
Oh
one of
my
those
God.
fridges. And I left it in there, and then I forgot about it. Yeah, we were picking ice and glass and key lime out of the ice tray for weeks because it had exploded in the ice tray and nobody knew about it because it was a silent explosion. It either
Oh,
happened
no.
at night or it just didn't really. It may have just exploded like a soft explosion where it just kind of cracked and crumbled apart. Either way,
It could have been
Uh,
a pop, yeah. It
we-
just could have been.
when I opened that fridge up, there was just like a small, like, not a glacier, what do you call it? Like a stalagmite, stalactite thing forming on the side of the wall where it had been leaning up against. And then, yeah, there was just, it all ran into the ice tray. And it was terrible. I had to clean that out, and I had to dump all the ice out because we couldn't risk getting the, glass in with the ice, and then we had to, then we had to make sure that we picked any ice cubes that we missed or no, any glass shards we missed out of the ice.
That's insane.
Oh, yeah, that was great. It was great. Yeah, I missed that key lime
Great.
soda. I never got to drink that key lime soda.
Echo, could you not claw? Okay, there's a question for you, Rogan. What type
I
of
saw that.
power would be the best for a spaceship?
So, are
Ow,
you talking?
ow.
Would it be a realistic, like, IRL power source? Something made up fantasy-wise? Or kind of a sci-fi thing from anywhere?
Welcome back, Syrup. Wait, cat, please stop walking across my keyboard. Very much.
I'm assuming because it's in line with the nuclear power questions that it would be more of a real life power source that we could generate to create power for a spaceship. Huh.
38.
Personally, I am a fan of depending on the size of the ship, you would need something very large for this one. But I would say, yep, realistic, yep. What is it? The one where you generate a small sun. Is that fission or fusion?
Fusion. No, fusion. Fission is fusion is combining all molecules together, like the sun does. Fission is separating them, which is more hazardous.
So fusion. Using nuclear fusion to generate a small sun. If you can adequately do that, which we are
Yes.
getting closer-ish to being able to do, you can effectively create unlimited power with almost zero emissions whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
But
it's way safer.
this being space, backup plans. I would maintain something like a nuclear generator as a backup plan with nuclear power, with the ability to recycle nuclear waste into more power, which we can do now easily.
Yes.
And then as well as I would maintain solar panels on the outside of the ship.
Yeah, solar panels, and one of the things you could do with the nuclear fusion is you could have a more simplified nuclear fusion using basically what we use with nuclear plants now, but using fusion material, which lasts longer and is safer with less hazardous waste.
Who's yawning?
Oh yeah, no.
Like somebody was yawning. Like, who's yawning? Keep awake. You're getting a physics lessons by Professor Rogan.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, I'm just doing my
With
stuff, listening to all
nuclear
those big
fusion.
quarter words.
Nuclear fusion is semi-dangerous. However, we have found a way to contain it using high-powered magnets. The problem is, once magnetic containment fails, the whole system just bloops out of existence. Kind of like, not so much. There is almost no radiation.
Yeah, Chernobyl was nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is harder to contain and overall way more dangerous, and has
I'm gonna
more
say this is also
likely-
all relative too.
Yeah,
Relative.
I mean,
I would also
fusion-
point out there has never been a nuclear accident that wasn't caused by a human. None of it has been a system failure. It was a human error on all of them.
Chernobyl was not maintained. It was an older, faulty system. So if they would have updated it and stopped production for a while to update their system, did some maintenance, Chernobyl would never have happened. I believe the same thing happened over in Japan.
Fukushima was more like an act of God.
Okay,
Tsunami, wasn't it?
It was an earthquake and a tsunami.
that's what that one was. I'm confused it with something else.
That was an act of God. That one no, even if that hadn't been like, if that had been somewhere else, anywhere in the world, and you still got hit with an earthquake and a tsunami, there wasn't anything you could do. That was Earth coming for your ass, and it had your number. However, we did contain that, for the most part. I mean, people were afraid we'd see like nuclear radiation spilling into the ocean as far away as California, which never happened. They sacrificed a lot of people though.
Yeah, they did.
The Japanese people gave up a lot to make sure that the world did not become contaminated.
Yeah, the Japanese equivalent of the liquidators that went into Chernobyl.
Yeah, they and the thing is, they were a lot of old people too. Even people that weren't
Yeah.
trained for that. This when the elderly knew that they would die soon. They were like, "Hey, give us the task so that these younger people have a better chance at living, cleaning it up, and making sure this never happens again."
That's one of the great things about their culture is that they have that mentality of if we're old and something bad's going to happen, we
Sacrifice
have
the old people first. Yeah,
yeah, we have to do this so that the young ones can live. It's
that's
Yeah. Where
if
it's
it were
like,
to happen here in America, we would take the Mavericks, the people that'd be like, "I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna survive this shit," and they're not gonna survive this shit, but they're gonna be like, "I'm the big, strong dude who can do anything, and I'm gonna run in there. I'm the John Henry of this shit, and I'm gonna run in there."
yeah.
That reference only works if you know who John Henry is.
I do not.
John Henry was the gentleman who fought a train and won.
Wow.
oh yeah.
I still don't know who this person is, but I am impressed.
It's a folktale.
Yeah, wasn't it the guy
wait.
that built a train track faster than a machine?
Yep, the idea was that the train, John Henry was a train track engineer, and him and his people were all about to be laid off because they had created a new steam-powered locomotive engine that could lay the tracks automatically, hammer it down, and just keep going, and it could lay tracks in moments when it took them days to do it. So he challenged the machine to a challenge that they had to dig through a tunnel, they had to lay track, and they had to get to the other side. Whoever did it first and did it best won. John Henry managed to get all the way to the other side of the hill, and the train got stuck in the mountain.
That's interesting because I remember that folktale. I saw a cartoon on it, but in the cartoon I saw, he lost to the machine.
He won against the machine, but ultimately it was proven that the strain was too much for a human being, and he did succumb. But yeah, he ends up like dying at the end of it because but it cements him as a folk legend.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's at least some truth to that because a lot of folk legends are like that.
Oh yeah, like
There's a
Paul Bunyan.
hint of truth to the thing. Yeah.
I do know a few things about Chernobyl. It would have affected all of Europe if the Chernobyl liquidators failed their job to the point that it'd be 20,000 years until it would be habitable again. And
A minimum of 20,000.
Minimum, yeah. Won't be habitable for the same amount of... So, a lot of Chernobyl, you can actually go inside of Chernobyl, currently. Well, maybe not at this very moment.
Yeah,
You
it's...
don't want to.
Oh yeah.
They got a different thing going on right now. But it
Yeah.
is there is radiation, but you usually wear something like a suit and something like a Geiger counter that tells you whether or not you're running into trouble.
But yeah, there's a
And,
lot of parts that are less radioactive than previously estimated that it would go.
They do have, I believe it's called the exclusion zone.
Yeah.
And there are still people living in there. Oh, the elephant's foot. Yeah,
Yeah.
the elephant's foot is an extremely dangerous thing. It is isn't that nothing but just an amalgamation of melted lead and fissionable material that melted through the floor?
It's a word that starts with C. I forget what it is, but it's a material that is made from fusion material and basically whatever the fusion material melted into and combined with.
Yeah, it was whatever it was like being contained in, and then it melted to the floor, and then it melted into the basement, and then it melted into the basement of the basement. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe the elephant's foot was the core itself's melted part, which is why it was so big.
I believe so. Yeah, and the fact that nobody has ever... You cannot gaze directly at it without dying.
Yeah, there's a person recently apparently went in there and managed to photograph it, but they had like a special suit on and stuff.
You would need a special suit and a special camera, because most cameras that try to take it, there's such interference. Even with like modern day electric camera, modern day electric cameras, I get tongue tied. Anyhow, yeah. Yes. Yeah, it provides a lot of electrostatic interference, radiation on film cameras. It would actually like bleach them out from the radiation.
Yeah, I forget how they do it, but there's specialized cameras
Graphite.
for taking pictures of radiation based things.
One of the things that was surrounding a lot of the nuclear material was graphite inside the core. When the core actually exploded,
Well-
it sent graphite sailing everywhere,
Yeah.
which is what they had to clean up. Sorry, I keep cutting people off. I'm sorry.
You are perfect.
You are fine.
I'm having just a problem.
Why can't you look at it? Because the elephant's foot is so radioactive that any sort of to look at it directly would mean that you would be engaging in direct exposure straight on at it.
Yeah, it's basically not necessarily the looking at it part, but if you are within range to look at it, you are too close to it.
Yep. And if you can directly see it, that means there's nothing between you and it, and it is directly you're getting bombarded with just an astronomical amount of radiation.
Yeah.
Most people who look at it directly usually die within a few days,
Making progress.
But
Yeah,
it'll
it's-
fly.
and it is.
Just you sailing down there.
It is, yeah. The main picture, if you go look up the elephant's foot, the primary picture that you will see is a black and white photograph that was taken by lining up mirrors, that stretch like 2 hallways, where the mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah, there
Sorry, guys.
is a color picture, but even it looks kind of grainy because even
Yeah,
with
radiation.
what, yeah, we basically needed a special camera, and to be able to take a picture of that radiation, it sacrificed quality.
Yep. So on a more cheery note, who knows about horseshoe crabs?
I love horseshoe.
Horseshoe crabs with the
Yeah.
blue blood.
They do. Wait, what?
Yeah, they have blue blood.
Oh, I thought you said they pee blood.
No, they
Like,
have.
oh
blue
my
I was
gosh,
like,
blood.
that's
I'm
really
sorry.
dark.
No, they have blue blood. I'm sorry.
Do you know how their immune system works?
It's fascinating, but it's been a while since I've learned about
So-
it, so I don't recollect it off the top of my head.
So we harvest their blood for use in vaccines and medicines
Yeah.
because of the unique property of their blood when it interacts with a foreign body such as a disease, an infection, whatever. It actually will surround it in platelets and it will section it off and push it out of the system. Whenever they would get sick with a disease, they would literally just bleed out the disease. And they'd be better.
It's been so long since I've learned that I'd completely forgotten that fact. I knew that they
Hey,
had
look,
something with their blood.
Jay,
Sorry.
let
We
me
all-
eat my meat in peace. Y'all
I-
seem very cool. They are very cool and very
I
smart.
wasn't gonna make a joke here, but I kind of want to make a joke.
Do it. Do
No, I'm
it.
good. I'm good.
That's okay. I already thought of it.
Oh my god.
No, that's me. Excuse me.
I'm
It's
the one
me.
with this here.
No, it's me.
Hey, who's the one that's not an affiliate? Hmm?
I'm a derp. No, you're not, Syrup. And also because Twitter or Twitch is stupid with how it does things. You got a flat face.
It does. It's
Where'd it
leaving.
Wait, I
It looked
didn't.
at you and left.
I know my face is frightening, but damn.
Well, you do have a
Rude.
duck face right now.
You just intimidated it.
My duck face. Wah, wah, wah.
Be very, very careful of this. It hits hard and it poisons a lot
You
when it
know,
notices us.
so I have no business actually knowing this, but this kind of reminds me of one of the boss fights from Ark Survival Evolved. This area.
I love Ark.
Have you ever fought one of the bosses?
No.
I've fought a few of them.
I have not fought them, but I did witness a person who did fight them who had a video of it. And I don't know if this is how truthful this video is, but they were fighting like a giant gorilla, like on the side of a mountain.
That is one of them, yes.
Yes, and there was like 15 of these guys, and like right off the bat, it kills like 5 or 8 of them. Like within moments, because it like
Yeah.
sweeps his arm and it just takes them all off the mountain. They all just drop to their death.
No, it's
Kinda
flying.
really
Hold on.
derpy.
I'm chasing it. Just be careful. It will slam its tail really hard on you, and
Where
it
did
can do
Jay
a
go?
poison laser.
No, that's where Jay went.
There we go.
You
Lucky life.
you just started Ark and think it's fun. Get out now. Get out now, Bigfoot. Get out now.
Yeah,
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It won't let go, and it's so big. But not that that
Oh.
matters to me much anymore with my 16 terabyte hard drive.
Careful.
Neither do I.
This is thanks to Jay because he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yep.
And I
Art?
still... No, the 16 terabyte hard drive.
Ark is the game I love to hate.
Oh yeah, because it's optimized terribly.
Oh, it's optimized terribly for the longest time. I don't even think they still have it. They
Oh,
were
no.
in-game voice chat. The last time I tried to use in-game voice chat was when I was playing on Xbox 360, and the second I tried to turn it on, when somebody spoke back to me, it was nothing but a high-pitched screech.
Oh,
Yeah, we've never used the in-game chat, but I can only imagine.
Goodness, I remember I was a beta tribe in one server, if you know what that is.
We've never played really the online multiplayer. We've
Oh,
made our own
good.
servers.
You don't do that.
you are more than welcome. You are more than welcome to join our server, Rogan.
I have definitely given some thought since I saw you guys play it the first time. My only problem is I love survival games. And once I start playing, I don't like to stop, and I would get nothing else done.
I
I feel
understand.
that.
Like, I play DayZ, I have hundreds of hours in DayZ. I developed a second life in DayZ. Oh, dude, even before I had a job, I was playing DayZ. It was go to school, come home, play DayZ.
Rogan is baby. Yes.
Stop that.
I'm so glad you're...
Better follow it.
Oh, did it take
Or-
your pollen? That's
That's
the the
your-
bird kisses.
That's your bird dust.
It stole your defense dust.
What do I think of the Bigfoot mythology?
Not
Alright,
all of it,
Rogan,
but
what
it's still
do
some
you
of it.
think of the Bigfoot mythology?
Well, in what aspect of it? There's a lot there to unpack.
Yeah, it's one of the most well-known cryptids.
Yep. My brother is effectively a pseudo cryptozoologist, so I know quite a bit about a lot of junk. Are you talking about sugar?
Oh, excuse me, what?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
The monster's targeting you.
Uh,
No, I'm sorry, sugar. If it helps you any, I'm sucking on the lemon.
there's a poison cure over here, sugar.
Got it.
Okay.
I need more of it, but at the
But
moment...
yeah, when it does that ring, it'll either usually spread the ring or make it contract, depending whether or not it lands in the middle or flies up, or if it lands on the side.
And in any aspect of my choice, I think that there are some areas and some evidence that is much more compelling than others. Why I myself have not had any interaction or have any of my own evidence to support the existence of Bigfoot, I do know that there are things in this world that are beyond my comprehension or my explanation that I am perfectly fine with just saying they exist.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of faith. Now, if something like Bigfoot exists, all the power to it. I wouldn't doubt it, because there's a lot of open land, there's a lot of unexplained things that occur in the woods. And Yeah, no, I could definitely see something like a Bigfoot-style creature existing. Or at least somebody doing something to keep the myth alive. Yeah. Now, however, I do
Right.
know
I like the scenic route.
jackalopes exist.
I have seen a jackalope.
I have seen a jackalope as well.
Yup. So where I live, there's two places that are obviously government buildings but have no markings. They're surrounded by security. No one knows. There's always cars there, but you never see anybody come and go. Weird as shit. Well, my grandpa's house where we used to live for a while was right down the hill from one of these places, pretty much. And I was out on my front porch listening to some music on my old little boombox. And my grandpa had a hummingbird feeder that hung right outside of our porch. And up flew, and this thing was massive. And it was a
Show 'em what hunters are made of.
It's targeting you!
We're gonna be fine.
It's all over for you!
Here it comes.
It's up to something!
The monster's targeting you.
Look at danger!
You tick me off now. Say goodbye. He moved somewhere else. Get away. I'm going after it.
I'll help myself, thank you.
I'll be taking this.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Gotta stay sharp.
But I need this.
Looks useful.
Sharpening.
to meet you. Yoink. Easy peasy. Here it comes! The monster's targeting you! You're my best pal.
You're going down!
Don't take this personal! Let's see how you handle this!
Here we go!
Better follow it!
Now's my chance!
Start begging for mercy! Making progress!
This is gonna hurt! Nothing personal!
Are you ready?
I knew I could count on you.
Here comes the pain!
Here it comes! You're my best pal. Don't take this personal! Brace yourself!
Brace yourself! For the target!
Look out! I need... I knew I could count on you. Thanks, buddy.
Give me strength!
Here it comes!
An excellent opportunity!
This should fix it!
Don't fail me now! Gotcha.
Take the ball!
Farewell,
Barely broke a sweat.
Nice.
Nothing personal, buddy.
I shall
I'll
put
be
this to
taking
good
this.
use.
That's all there is to it. Indeed. Don't let me down.
I've been waiting for you. Yes. Hmm? Until next time.
Good job.
I've got it.
Watch the master painter at work. Oh, that was fun.